So, welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious, Rowena.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, Rowena. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, welcome. I mean, I'm going to enjoy this. I know it.
Oh, brilliant.
Pressure.
No pressure.
So, the age-old question. How did you come to realise that you were on the journey towards perimenopause?
Oh. Well, it was a weird one. What can I say? It was a weird one for me because I kind of knew it in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Because my menstrual cycle was changing, and that went on for quite a few years. I'm 57 in a couple of weeks, so I was about, I'd say, from about 52, I suddenly realised that my due date suddenly wasn't my due date, and it swapped a couple of weeks. Didn't think anything of it because I have the coil, had the coil in, so I just assumed, oh well, that happens, blah blah blah. Went on along like that for a few years. Then all of a sudden, I was completely losing my marbles. Honestly, I didn't sleep for 3 months. My mental health was declining. I just couldn't sleep. I don't sleep well because I have health conditions anyway. But I suddenly I was lying in bed like this, just, staring up at the ceiling thinking, am I going to go to sleep yet? And I teach and practice mindfulness and, meditations and all that sort of stuff. So nothing was working, nothing at all. So I tried I suddenly thought, oh, hang on a second. And then I realised that actually I was starting to skip periods, and sort of like I'd have one every 3 months. And then sometimes I'd have spotting in between, but not often. And it's kind of, I don't really have periods anymore, but I have spotting. Do you know what I mean? So I'm well and truly somewhere along the line. But I was getting a right sweaty Betty. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a sweater, if you know what I mean. If you ask my other half, the only time I used to sweat when was I still able to go to the gym. That's the only time. I suddenly was just erupting especially at night. I was just like, what the hell's wrong with me? And because I can't control, one of my conditions means I can't control my body temperature very well, and I was usually a cold fish. Like, you can touch my hands and feet and they'd be, I'd be ice everywhere else. And everybody's going, oh, it's nice and warm. Like, what's the matter with you? Unless it's 30 degrees, it's not warm, is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? But now I'm the opposite way. I have to go and stand out in the rain. You watch the steam coming off. You know what I mean? So I realised there was stuff like that. And it was silly little things as well. Like, I noticed that on my eyelids I started to get, and sort of around my eyes, I started to get these little eye infections and things like that. And it was really strange. And I just suddenly thought, what the hell? And I was with my friend, because I'm from London originally, and we were in London, and I said to her, I'm so desperate to sleep. I just can't sleep. And she just whacked one of her HRT patches on me, after we talked about it. She said, try this. And literally a couple of days later was the first time I'd gone to sleep in like 3 months. I was completely all over the shop. My mental health was just ridiculous. I just didn't know what was going on. I was biting everybody's heads off, and then regretting that I'd done it, and all the rest of it, because that's naturally, I'm quite even tempered really, but yeah, so that's how I noticed anyway. And I finally went to the doctor, and they went, yes, let's put you on some HRT. But then I got some private blood tests done, because they don't, on the NHS, unfortunately, they won't do it. They'll just slap you on the medicine, which I've always found that a rather odd thing. It's like, how do you know what level somebody's at unless you test it? Do you know what I mean? And my testosterone was right in the middle of the green, fine. I had absolutely zero progesterone, zero.
Wow.
And my HRT was through the roof. So then they put me on HRT, and I take progesterone as well. And it's been, it's going to be about 2 and a bit years I've been on that. Evened it out slightly, but I do take supplements as well.
And are you still on the coil, Rowena?
It's run out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get this. That's this one needs removing, and I depending on who I go to in my GP surgery, they tell me different things.
Wow.
So.
Because that's something that we've heard, that a lot of people have gone onto the coil and then not even noticed that they've had any symptoms or anything, not even known if they've finished their periods, and it just goes to show
I wish.
how different we all are, though. And it is
because see, the reason it's absolutely true, because the reason why I was put on the coil in the first place was because my periods were always the bane of my life. I used to hemorrhage pretty much, and so years ago I was on the pill, and then my heart condition was found and all the rest of it. So we can't be on the pill anymore. So I tried the coil, and it sort of kind of sorted me out for a few years. You know what I mean? But I did that my periods with the coil didn't stop.
Right.
They carried on, but they were more manageable. So that's why I actually had a stand-up row almost with a GP who was just finishing his training, who said, well, the coil stops all periods. I went, let me stop you right there. No, it doesn't. You need to treat people individually. And I said, let me tell you. And he wasn't listening to me. I said, you actually need to listen to me. I'm the woman. What would you know? You're a man.
Yes.
And they only get one module, don't they, for the menopause in their training?
Oh, God,
absolutely.
Absolutely insane.
Don't get me started.
But there aren't many people that go through menopause, Rowena, so obviously it's not really needed, right?
Right, it's not, half the population just over, is it?
No. It's not many of us.
No. Not needed at all. It's not an essential thing, it's not an essential thing at all, is it? We don't need it. That's all right. Okay. Let's just all go completely mad.
Were you feeling on an even keel now?
Fairly. I still think it's not quite right, but some of it is because with me, it's my health conditions and stuff. I find it very difficult sometimes to know what it actually is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so then I get told off because I haven't gone to the doctor quickly enough, and I'm like, well, it's either this, or this. Do you know what I mean? Then I go, oh yeah, I see what you mean. It's like, well, but
it is tricky, isn't it, at this time in life when there are so many things that it could be.
Oh yeah, it gets boring, doesn't it? I'm bored of it. It does. I'm just like, I reckon I'm around. I would say probably about 3/4 of the way through it. I'm like, hurry up. I had some spotting yesterday, and I went to Gary. Oh, damn! I'm still perimenopausal.
How long have you been then?
I'm not through the other side yet. Come on, hurry up! I'm bored of it now. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, definitely. How long had you been this time then before you started spotting yesterday?
I usually I have for the last 6 months. About every 2 to 3 months, a bit of spotting. Yeah. Sometimes I wouldn't even call it spotting, but no, yesterday was definite spotting. I was like, oh, boo.
Back to square one again.
Yeah, I was like, boo. I'm like, every time nothing's happening, I'm like, is it going to, is it going to carry on? Are I actually going to have that big celebration where it's like, I am free? No, not a chance.
No, not this time.
No. You can go ages, can't you? I mean, it was last year or the year before, I went about 8 months and then I had a period. Then last year I went 6 months.
Wow.
Had a period. Then I've not had one for about 3 months. And then about 2 weeks ago I came on and I was on for 7 days. And I was like, my periods are normally really light and 3 or 4.
Oh, God. I know, it's so disappointing, isn't it? Yeah. I'm kind of looking, when it all started, I mean, I kind of knew about menopause. Of course I did. Do you know what I mean? I do remember my mother having a hysterectomy years ago because she used to have to get up 4 or 5 times a night, change the bed. I mean, she was that bad with her night sweats and stuff. And that was years and years ago. She was in her, I don't know, mid-40s when she had a hysterectomy. But they treat things differently now, don't they? Do you know what I mean? It's not quite so, we can do more for it. But I'm just I'm waiting for that day when I celebrate. I'll tell you, I'm just going to celebrate.
Yeah.
You mood.
That one day.
I know. I'm waiting for that one day, and I'll be like, yes, celebrate it.
Yeah.
I know when I periods the next day.
Can you imagine? I'd be so gutted.
We ought to have some sort of celebration.
Yeah, we did. What did we say? We said, people need to come up with some ideas of names
for the menopause day.
The menopause day. That's a celebration for all.
Yeah, God, off the top of my head, I'm not very good off the top of my head, but there's got to be something.
But then it would be like you wouldn't know until the next day because it would be like, has it been 12 months? It's been 12 months, and then
what does happen? Then you come on the next day. I mean, then you're back to square one, right?
Yeah.
I know. It's gutting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the unknowing. It's the not knowing, isn't it? About
you actually really can't plan anything, can't you? Particularly if you're having a bad time with it. You know what I mean? It's like I do get terrible night sweats and things like that. So I have chia seeds and flax seeds in my diet. That does actually help to keep them sort of quite. I try and eat quite a whole food diet. I mean, I eat a bit of junk here and there, but pretty healthy most of the time. But you know, it's just the unknown, isn't it? You think, well, I still carry my little packet of sanitary products around with me. That's always in the back of my. I wear a rucksack. I don't wear a handbag or anything, but like, you know, a small rucksack. I'm always in there thinking, do I still really need these? It'll be the day I take them out, I'll suddenly have a proper period. I'll be like stuck outside going, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now?
So you mentioned your chia seeds and did you say
flax seeds? Flax seeds.
So how long have you been doing that for? Has that been something that's kind of come along in this journey, or have you always been quite good?
I've always been into seeds and grains, man, because everybody that knows me knows I'm a raging old hippie. So, like, yeah, I've always been like peace, love, and mum beans. Yes, peace, love, and mum beans. Yeah, no, I am a raging old hippie. So, so yeah, I've always like had an interest in, you know, whole foods is better than, you know, like when people go on diets and stuff, and you know, all that diet food is all full of rubbish, and also because it helps my conditions, you know, not having all that artificial rubbish inside does help. No, it does help.
I'm like starting to really try and work really hard on my diet. I say it all the time.
Yeah, but it honestly makes a difference. If nothing else, it makes a difference to your mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and you know, I do intermittent fasting, but not as strict as I used to be, because that can, unfortunately, it can obviously help your hormone spiking and stuff like that. So, you know, I just do a 14-hour fast. I used to do like 16 hours or more. I can't do that. I've noticed it makes me feel really poorly, but you know, it does help. You know, so I eat between sort of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And if I was, say, to go out of an evening, I knew I was going for a meal, I'd adjust my day accordingly as much as I can. I mean, sometimes I break it. If somebody offers me a glass of wine, I'm not going to help sitting there going, oh, sorry, no, I'm not going to have that right now. Yeah, stuff that. Give it here. Do you know what I mean? Stuff that. I'll have it now.
I'll tell you half 9.
And if there's a biscuit, like, oh, well, you know, but not all the time. Certainly not all the time. So, you know.
It's getting to know your body, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely. And it does work. It does work. I mean, I think sort of time limited eating, but sort of like, you know, eating, like I say, the whole foods, I've noticed really does help. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole foods. I mean, I've only jumped back on it. Like you know, we're kind of probably classed as old hippies as well. Yeah. I would say
best way to be, peace, love, and everything.
Absolutely.
You know. Yeah.
So I do try and stick to, like, you know, like you, a lot of whole foods. It's obviously stuff jumps in, and I've been eating crap, but I notice it mostly in my face, and like everything feels puffy.
Yes.
In rubbish.
Yes. I'm the same.
Getting back into the groove of eating well and whole foods and steering clear of the sugar is my main thing.
I'm a real sweet tooth as well.
Yeah, it's chocolate.
Really.
It's chocolate, really. I'm not really bothered about savouries. But I do feel that once I stop eating that crap, it does, you're right. Mental health makes you feel better. Yeah. It stops
it does.
puffiness in your face and your
neck. Yeah, I notice it. I feel really toxic as well if I eat a load of rubbish. Like after Christmas, I was like, oh God, I felt horrible, you know. Just my digestion was out, everything. I was like, no.
So it does make a massive difference, doesn't it?
It does. Unfortunately, yes, it does.
I know. Put a cake down. I mean, you know, or just eat one slice and not the whole cake.
Well, it's a start, isn't it?
It's a start. So what other things have you been doing, Rowena, alongside the sort of seeds and, you know, obviously you're still on HRT and...
Yeah, the boring stuff really, like, you know, making sure I drink lots of water, and because of my health conditions and disability, I have to do physio. So I do like a disabled version of Pilates twice a week, and then I do weights once a week, and I move about as much as I can. I just do what I can.
Yeah. That's all we can do, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's all you can do, isn't it? You know, there's no miracle cure for how every woman is going to feel during this stage, is there? What works for what might not work for anybody else, you know. So
I think a good tonic is chatting with other women, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, you realise that you're not going absolutely out of your mind.
On your own.
On your own, depending on who you talk to. Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
you're not going out of your
No.
going out of your mind, because it can be like silly things. Like for me, I'll tell you what, silly things like I'll go say I've got a doctor's appointment after this funeral today, and I'll sit there in a car and I'll go, right, get yourself in the car, come on, you can do it. And I'll be so, my anxiety will go through the roof, and I'll go, right, as soon as I get in the car, right, lock the car, sit there, and I put my music on. I'm like, some deep breathing, and I go. But to get myself from inside to the car, and I'm only going 2 miles up the road sometimes. Yeah. Oof, silly things like that can just really. I'm better than I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I drive myself down to London and around London, but and I'll sit there like, no one can get road rage anymore in London when it's 20 miles an hour, can they? Do you know what I mean? It's hilarious trying to watch it. Do you know what I mean? You get off the motorway from 70 and you go 20, and you're like, whoa, I can run faster than that. You know what I mean? But you're like this, watching everybody in front of you, so you can't get road rage. It's quite safe, I feel.
Do you know, I wonder if some of that though is like I was talking to my kids about this the other day, about there's so many cars on the road now.
Oh, there are, right?
And
yeah.
It's so different when we learnt to drive.
Yes.
And I think if I learnt to drive now, I wouldn't be able to cope.
No, honestly, it's year on year, it just gets more and more and more, and I sit there and I go. So I was around last year, I went to stay with my friend Claire, and we were staying in a lovely hotel, but it was off the M25. And it was right opposite where I used to work years ago, actually. And I was like, well, that wasn't there, that wasn't there, that wasn't there, that wasn't there. And what I did notice was there's absolutely no space left at all.
Wow.
And I was going around the M25 thinking, it was never that bad. So I just put my music on and carry on.
Yeah. Maybe just don't stay in a hotel on the M25 next time.
I know, it was off. It was just off. It was in Brentford. Coming from here, it took me off, and I had to go around the sort of the M25. Once I got off the motorway, rather than going right to visit my mate in Maida Vale, I was going the other way. So
yeah, we have a bit of a dance festival near Brentford on one of the parks. Husband likes DJs and stuff, so we stay in Brentford.
Yeah, no, they've got some good, really big parks and stuff like that, and Hounslow Central and all around there. Yeah, they've got some good old parks around there.
Good things going on.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you mentioned earlier that you're a mindfulness coach.
Yes.
Yeah, mindfulness. Originally, how that started was when I was first being treated for one of my conditions. I learnt mindfulness at what's it called again? Royal Homeopathic Hospital. Okay. And at that time you could get it on the NHS. You can't get it on the NHS anymore. I kind of knew it anyway a little bit, because I do sort of like my thoughts are generally Buddhism and things. So it's kind of the meditation side I already knew about, but that's where my interest was spiked. So I sort of got, because I practice it daily. Do you know what I mean? It's I practice it for pain control and just daily life, really, or if I'm having a particularly hard time with anything at all, I'll meditate on it. And so I decided, I think it was about 2014, I did my mindfulness certificate and stuff, and that's what I helped with. And then the hypnotherapy stuff came during lockdown. Gary was furloughed and sitting in here. I was sitting in the bedroom going, I'd had this course sitting in my inbox for a long time. I thought, do it now. Yeah. So that's what I did. And then the menopause coaching stuff is obviously developed from me going through it myself.
Yeah.
I think, like you said before, I think the more we talk about it and the more we share it, the more we realise, it just really helps.
Oh, God, it really does help.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to what you were doing before you were doing hypnotherapy.
Oh, right. Okay. So before that, I used to work in social services. Okay. So I used to, my main trade, if you like, was working with adults with learning disabilities, autism and challenging behaviour as a service manager. And then when I moved up here, there wasn't any jobs for me. So I just went to sort of generic, and then I was on social work duty desk for good 2.5 years.
Okay. So then you took a bit of a pivot and then went with the hypnotherapy and mindfulness.
Yeah, stuff I always had an interest in and already kind of knew how to do. So it just seemed like natural, and I'd been a manager as well. So, people were coming to me with problems. And I've got one of those faces that I can stand at the bus stop and somebody will come up to me, start chatting. I'll go, all right, blah, blah. And they'll go, blah, 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 blah. And they'll tell me the deepest, darkest secrets. And I've got like, talk to me written on my forehead or something. Or on the tube. I used to get, on the tube, I get somebody tell me, and anyway, la la la, and I'm like, oh, I've never told anybody that before. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. It's just like I must be this magnet because I get everybody coming to do it. I mean, obviously I've got a car now, so it doesn't happen. But I used to get my bus because I lived in Camden. My bus to work, when I did get the bus, was the number 31. And there were all sorts of people that would in the morning. I thought, God, I should do this for a living, like bus stop counselling or something. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, what a great idea, though. To be.
I know, but can you imagine in this shitty weather? Who wants that? No one. Come on, let's go on the bus. I don't care where you're going. We'll talk about it on the way.
Yeah, you have a little office on the bus. You could just do it from their journey from home.
The back of the bus downstairs or something. Yeah, where the smokers used to sit.
Yeah, God. Yeah. My kids won't come shopping with me anymore because they're like, oh no, we can't go with you, Mum, because you just attract.
Somebody will talk to you.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I can't just walk away, but you don't even know that person. Yeah, I know, but there's no.
I know, but sometimes you kind of sense that somebody wants to tell you something or wants to talk to you, and like, if I sense that from someone, I'm not going to say.
No,
I'm not going to turn my back on them.
No.
Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to say, are you? And I've been known to even to there's a local beauty spot up the road from here, and I've even been known. There was a guy, I think it was last summer. Yeah, it was last summer, sitting in his car, and he was just staring straight ahead. And I thought, oh. And I went past the car, and I went back again, and I just put my window down, and I went, excuse me, I hate to disturb you, but are you okay? Like that. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. My son's just gone for a walk down there. I was like, okay, good. It's all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was because he was sat there like this.
Yeah.
He wasn't moving, and I thought, he's either deep in concentration about something or he's deeply depressed. I need to check that. So I did.
Yeah, definitely. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So with your menopause coaching then?
Yes.
So that kind of came in. I'm interested into how that kind of came in. So you'd obviously were going through it, and so
and because I've got like a sort of a little group of friends we're all kind of going through it. Pretty much everybody our age group is going through it, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So I just thought I developed this course. It's called Hormonally Yours, and it's just a 4-week course, and all it concentrates on is the emotional side of it and like identity of who we are and who we're not anymore, and explores that, and mindfulness tips about exploring your identity, but 2 your emotional side, because your emotions are all over the place. You're either crying your eyes out or wanting to kill someone, and everywhere in between. So it was about trying to just use some mindfulness tips that I'd learned, and there was a couple of psychology tips that I put in there as well that I'd known about, some breathing techniques. And it's just a 4-week course, and I had a group of ladies that went through that. I think it's 11 ladies that went through that, and I've used it since, and it's been known to be, I get great feedback on it. So, and that sort of led me, and I thought, well, if I've done that, and then I started the course, and I thought they were talking about all these different elements of it, and I thought, oh, I've already put that in this course. Oh, great, so I was on the right track.
Yes, okay. Absolutely right.
So what kind of things have you found that have been useful then? So you talked about the mindfulness.
Mindfulness for me was one of the big things. It's like the meditation side, and identity, because in my eyes, it's like I look completely different to how I did. I was Mrs. 7.5 stone for years and years and years, and then I was about between 8 and 9, and then all of a sudden, body changes. I've got hips and boobs that were never there before, and I was like, hello.
What's going on?
Yeah, but for me, it's like my shoulder blades used to be bigger than my boobs. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, oh God. but you know, I suddenly got curves and things like that. And whereas, you know, yes, I have the meno belly and all the rest of it, but I'm kind of okay with that. But there is this side of it that I think is quite important to acknowledge, which is I am no longer of childbearing age. I am no longer in my 20s. I don't look the same, you know. And then you get that other side of who the hell am I now? But actually, I am a maturing woman, and this is a very interesting, and it's a privilege to be able to get to this age because some of us don't get here. That kind of thing. And then what I explored was, you know, that's how I felt about how I feel about who I was then. And you have to kind of say goodbye to that.
Yeah.
Because it is like a grieving process, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you suddenly become possibly invisible in society. You know, that is the biggest thing for me was the mindfulness and the journaling. I journal a lot as well.
I do that now too. Yeah. I think as well, you know, with a lot of our identity may well come from our conditioning in society.
We are conditioned to fade away with it.
Yeah.
We're not conditioned to wear red jumpers, red lipstick, have a laugh, go out and dance all night still if you want to. I can't do that anymore, but I used to. Do you know what I mean? I'll still go to the places, I just sit down. But you know what I mean? We're not
transition, isn't it, from being a sexual object
to being, you know, if you're in a shop for anything and somebody says, oh, mind that lady, you know, she's using a walking stick and all my crutches depending on, mind that lady. I'm thinking, what lady? Oh shit, me. Because you know, that's it, isn't it? You know, you're supposed to fade into obscurity. You're supposed to have short hair or whatever at a certain age. You know what I mean? It's like you're not supposed to be bright and bouncy and you know, and all those things. Society says you shouldn't. Oh, stuff that. Who says that? Not me.
No, because look at all the wisdom and knowledge that we
That's right.
have. You know, it's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still kind of dip sometimes and go, oh my God, I can't do those jeans up. But then I think of all the positives and the fact that we are so much wiser. And like
absolutely
in societies, we would be like looked up to, wouldn't we? We'd be the people that other people would come to.
In some cultures, like older ladies are. They're treasured, but just not perhaps so much in the Western world. You know, we're supposed to fade off. You're not supposed to dress like that. You know, you're not supposed to get drunk or do any of those things that you might necessarily do when you're with a bunch of mates. Do you know what I mean? But
there's no reason why not.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. Because, tell me why I should be bothered.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I noticed about myself was I used to really care what people think, and yet whilst I still do in some respects, a lot of the time I just go, oh, no, and
I think there comes a point at which I mean, it certainly has done for me, where I think actually I don't know why I'm listening to your opinion. What has that got over my opinion?
Because we always used to, you know, especially certain people that were in your life, whether it was at work or family or friends, you know, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but you'd kind of listen to other people thinking that they were the authority.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whereas like now, as you've exactly just said, I do go, oh, I don't even agree with what they're saying anymore. It really doesn't align with me and who I am and how I feel.
No, and I'm less willing to put up with people's rubbish about stuff. In life in general, I'm just less willing, and because I know who I am, I've been around for nearly 57 years. You know, I know who I am by now. So, and you know,
and that's a good thing. That's a nice feeling, isn't it? To not worry about offending. Well, it's not about offending people, but it's about following what's right for you, isn't it? Rather than
absolutely
just going along with what everyone else is saying and doing because you think that you're meant to.
Because we're always told we're supposed to, as females, we're supposed to play certain roles, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're always told that, you know, at this time in life we should be like at home with our slippers on, although I am at home with my slippers on, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? When we choose to do it, it's fine, not because it's expected the role that we're supposed to play. You know what I mean? It's like,
actually the roles that we're supposed to play, I mean, I'm doing a bit of writing about it, and I'm
Brilliant.
kind of like looking into the roles that we're supposed to play, and it's like, so we are supposed to be kind of calming down and being a little bit more invisible and in the background
Yes.
and stuff,
Yeah.
with the slippers. But then we've still got to go out into the world and work so that we can earn money, so that we can pay to live.
Yeah.
I think I read something the other day, or saw something somewhere, that we're the only creature, for want of a better word, that lives on this planet that actually pays to live on this planet.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. Nothing else does. But we've
Yeah.
got to have these jobs going on. We've got to be the mother if we've got children, and the sister, and the daughter, and the carer. We've got to make sure everyone else is watered and fed around us. They've got clean clothes. So while we kind of like, sometimes I would just love to put my slippers on and just like shut my door and my curtains, put another log in the fire, and just say, I'm not here. But unfortunately,
I've logged off.
yeah, I'm proper logged off. But it's really hard to even lean into that, even if you wanted to, isn't it?
It is really hard. It
Not
is
that I
really
want to lean
hard.
into anything that anyone expects of me.
But also, I think as well, it's understanding what it is you want to do.
Well, it is.
Because
Yeah, there is that, because the
for a long
choices.
time,
Yeah.
we've been conditioned to be a certain
100%.
person.
It's really strange. Yes, we have been conditioned, but I don't have kids. I couldn't have kids. I used to, when I was younger, I did a lot of backpacking, so I travelled the world, living and working it all around the world and stuff. But there was still that expectation from people, like, when you're going to settle down and get married and have kids.
Yes.
When I used to come back, there'd be people going, "Have you got any kids?" I'm like, and I wouldn't say to people, one, it's not really any of your business.
Yes.
Two, I can't have kids, and I didn't used to tell people too much. Later on, I actually, because I tried to have kids, and when I was in Australia, I nearly died. But so I couldn't have kids, but I was still looked on as a weirdo because I was doing very much a male thing, going off on my own.
Yeah.
Traveling and this, that, and the other. So, when I came back, he's going to settle down yet? Settle down to what?
Yeah, and why?
Why? Settle down to what?
Yeah.
I am.
We've been talking about that a lot lately as well, haven't we?
Being sold a lie.
Yeah.
It is an absolute lie. I've always looked after myself. I mean, I need a lot of help now, and I've got a really good guy, but I waited a lifetime to find him, put it that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've never really, I was always told I was the oddball and this, that and the other, and so strange. Well, yeah, okay, but I've not really had a ordinary life, if you want ordinary. Do you know what I mean?
What is that?
Yeah, exactly. What is ordinary? I didn't do the usual. What was expected is probably what they actually meant. I think.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
but it's that shedding of all the conditioning now, isn't
Yes,
it? And I think it's we've come, a lot of us, and we're and I'm saying this because we've spoken to a lot of women that feel the same. So
yeah.
I can kind
the
of
collective.
There's a few of us now
that
I'm seeing the evidence from. That we get to this stage and it's almost like a shedding of all those expectations and all.
Absolutely.
And actually, what is it that I want to do? And it's like all of a sudden, and it can feel quite overwhelming, but it's this whole, there's an actual, and we felt it coming into our 50s. It's like, there's a world out there. What do we want to do? What can we do? And you've said it a lot, we could have another 50 years on the planet.
Yeah, definitely. What do we want to do?
I know. Why waste it?
Yeah.
Why waste it? Absolutely. I still feel the same. I just have to do things differently now, but it doesn't really, I still carry on, and I think we're also, because we're in this sort of same age group as well, for women coming up behind us, I think it's a lot easier.
Yes.
Because we were the ones that, generation, what are we? We're Gen X, aren't we?
Yeah.
So Gen X ladies, I know. Gen X, rock-a-motics, Gen X women. No, it's I would say what I was about to say, but I realise I'm going to be on air. It's rubbish, shall we say?
Oh, it's fine. We can say what we want. But yeah, absolutely. I think we probably have come to kind of shake the mould a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
And also, why shouldn't we? Because
why shouldn't we?
especially when you have, a difficult experience in midlife or perimenopause and all those sorts of things. Other women should know what potentially might be coming up for them.
I feel that's so important, and I sometimes put hashtag on my channels about, menopause isn't just for older women. Do you know what I mean? Because it isn't. I think we need. I honestly think menopause needs to be discussed in schools.
Oh my goodness, it does. It really does.
I really do, because like we talk about the reproductive system and what's going to happen, and the birds and the bees and all the rest of it. So why not what happens when women get to a certain age? Because it can be such a smack in the head. I mean, it hit me like a sledgehammer. Once. It really did. I was like, oh, and it took me ages to work out that's what it was. It's like, my menstrual cycle's all over the place. I don't really have one much anymore. Oh, hang on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but hindsight's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
You plonker. Why didn't you spot any of those things?
What a plonker. I didn't realise, but
Definitely. Yeah, I think they changed the syllabus, I think, a couple of years ago. I remember reading that they were going to start to educate in schools a little bit around the menopause. But I think the more people we've then spoken to about it and said, don't quote me, but I'm sure I had a conversation with someone saying, it's very much down to the person that's teaching that.
Wow.
So obviously, if you've got someone who might not be very comfortable with talking about menopause, they might, but they may not.
Can't see the point, because I think a lot of it again is around fertility, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's always about fertility.
Yeah, essentially, we are reproductive animals.
Yeah,
and it's all around that, and that's what's a bit disappointing.
I just think it needs to be holistic, like everything. The menopause sort of coaching I do is holistic, mind, body, and spirit, and mind, body, and soul, and all of that, because I think it comes from physically. You've got to move about and all the rest of it. You've got to eat right, drink right. You've got to do those things. And whatever kind of path you're going down, some people can manage on the natural path. I couldn't. So that's why I went down the HRT. There's all of that. There's the emotional side of it. There's the identity side of it. There is that, what do I do now? What the hell? Who am I? There's all of those things, isn't it? And so why wouldn't that go into schools? It's like, why wouldn't they have a holistic approach? So you're talking about, you get to a certain age of puberty, or goes on through puberty, reproduction, and then it just stops. Why would that stop? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't not happen. It's one of those things that cannot not happen to a woman, unless of course they don't make it to that age. But do you know what I mean?
I think certainly, like, our kids' generations now, they know more about it than we ever did.
Bless them.
Yeah.
But like my youngest, as he was going through puberty, we used to make jokes about the fact that he's going into puberty and I'm coming out of it, and it was just
we were
about it. So I think there's a lot of us now that are having those conversations with our kids, and so they are a lot more aware, but not because of the systems that we're part of, because of that's what we're doing at home.
Yeah, I think we need to be really open about it.
I do as well.
I really do think there needs to be an openness, full stop, about this thing about society. About us women of a certain age, we're supposed to behave and dress in a certain way. This is really it just needs to stop.
Are you feeling that shifting a little bit?
Yes, I do. I do.
It might not be as quick as we would like, but there is a shift, and I'm feeling it.
And I guess if we don't play into that, going out sort of like into the next 50 years quietly, and we just continue to be the people that we want to be, whether that's a different person for the next 50 years or a different person for the next 10 years and then a different person 10 years after. And we will be, because we're changing all the time, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
All the time. And I think if we can sort of like stay true to ourselves and not kind of, I don't know, sit in a corner in our slippers, although it's nice sometimes.
It is, because I've got mine on now.
You It's proper nice, to be fair.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
His feet are cold. Oh, slippery.
I had my feet in my slippers before I came out. If we can keep it as a topic of conversation, and if because there's always trailblazers out there, isn't there? There's always women that are kind of that are aging, and I think there's so many memes and jokes that, aging disgracefully and all the rest of it, but it's not really.
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of just staying true to yourself, isn't it? You see all these like eccentric older ladies dressed
I love them.
in these amazing clothes, like loads of jewellery and
what was her name? What's her name?
Incredible.
Knottful. I've forgotten her name. God, my memory. There you go, brain fog. The lady who's in New York, she was just fabulous, and she died at 102. She never conformed in her whole life.
Amazing, and lived to 102. There you go. If that's not a message for the show, don't conform.
Don't conform. I never have, though. You see, I never have. So, and I've always had, in a way. I mean, I left home when I was 15, so came from a very troubled background. So I've always looked after myself. So I've never done the ordinary, and it wasn't intentional. It's just I just followed whatever my path was. Do you know what I mean? I just thought, I want to go over there and look over what's going on over there in that country. I'll go over there. That's it. And then somebody says, "Oh, do you want a job?" And I'll apply for a job, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, okay." And then that's kind of how it went. Yes. It was never intentional. So I think we should just keep on going. Don't conform.
I think so too. I think so too.
I don't think that we've got a choice. I think we just carry on. Carry on as we are.
Yeah.
Life is life, isn't it? Carry on as you were.
As you were.
As you were.
Fabulous. Well, I think that's probably a really good time to round it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's gone really quickly, isn't it?
Really. It has, hasn't it? Wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, really, really good to talk to you. Thank you.
You too.
Yeah, we've loved having.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
good.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, so have we.
See you again soon.
Yes,
hopefully.
Take care and speak soon.
Yes. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.